Boxing is a great sport and is already a part of human history. The sport has inspired movie makers and writers and made stories of encouraging people to step up. The films on this list are an embodiment of philosophy of using boxing to justify one's own existence and proving their self-worth, while disproving their naysayers. In our list, we will only include movies where actual boxing matches were central to the plot. Classics like The Quiet Man and On the Waterfront failed to make the cut because, while boxing plays a key role in the backstories of these films, they don't factor much into the immediate storylines of the movies. That legendary "I could have been a contender" speech notwithstanding. With that in mind, here are the 10 greatest boxing movies of all time and is ranked by IMDb rating. Before we start, if you guys find this video interesting, please let us know by smashing the like button. And if you enjoy the content on our video playlist and want to see more, just click subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get the latest updates. Number 9. Hard Times, 7.3 out of 10 IMDb. In real life, people don't come much tougher than boxers. These are athletes whose livelihood depends on their ability to give and receive fists to the face. In the old days, before concussion-inducing padded gloves were introduced, the sport was even bloodier. Bare-knuckle boxing, as it was called, was America's great back alley pastime, and no film catches the violent spirit of the sport as Walter Hill's Hard Times, starring Charles Bronson as a nameless man of few words, with a gift for hand-to-hand combat. Number 8. Champion, 7.4 out of 10 IMDb. They say it's lonely at the top, and no film catches the ruthlessness of a narcissistic egomaniac like 1949's Champion, starring Kirk Douglas as a boxer who doesn't care about how many lies he will ruin on his quest to become the best. In boxing movies, even with trainers and mentors and romantic interests, a fight ultimately comes down to the fighter and his opponent. Movies like The Champ and Rocky are all about using fighting as a way to prove self-worth and integrity. Champion, on the other hand, is about a big jerk who lacks the humility of self-respect. A fighter is responsible for his own success, but also his own failure, and Champion is an uncompromising film noir about the perils of selfishness and greed. Douglas was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance, and Champion can be seen as a companion piece with 1947's Body and Soul. In that film, a good man and great fighter is beaten down by a broken system, while Champion features a cool man who is a great fighter fighting his way to the top, only to discover what an empty victory really feels like. Number 7. Creed, 7.6 out of 10 IMDb. Legends never die. Nobody needs a list about boxing movies to know that Rocky is one of the greatest motion picture achievements of all time, but that film's enduring legacy is nothing short of astonishing. Even after the 6th film seemingly wrapped up the entire series, Sylvester Stallone took his legendary character out of retirement to pass the torch to the next generation in 2015's Creed. Director Ryan Coogler takes a tried and true blueprint of 1976's Rocky and brings in a unique character, Adonis Johnson, to offer a fresh spin on the story. Unlike Rocky's humble Philadelphia roots and working class status, Adonis is the son of Apollo Creed and willingly leaves behind his life of luxury in an attempt to learn why he wants to fight, why he needs to be in the ring. Meanwhile, Stallone returns as Rocky, serving as young Adonis' mentor and father figure. Number 6. Requiem for a Heavyweight, 7.8 out of 10 IMDb. In 1956's Requiem for a Heavyweight was Rod Sterling's breakthrough success as a writer. He would later go on to create The Twilight Zone, one of the most revered television series of all time. There were no science fiction or supernatural elements in Requiem, however. This is a straightforward story of a washed-up old boxer and his manager, and their turbulent friendship. Jack Palance starred as a fighter in the original television version, while Keenan Wynn played the manager. The Playhouse 90s television broadcast was adapted for the BBC, starring a young Sean Connery, but this version is tragically lost to time. Perhaps the well-known version of the story is of the 1962 feature film version starring Anthony Quinn and Jackie Gleason. This version is also noticeable for featuring Muhammad Ali, back when he was known as Cassius Clay, as a young boxer who defeats the aging protagonist early in the film. Both American versions are heartfelt stories about pride, trust, and loyalty, and carry Rod Sterling's signature combination of gritty realism and compassionate sentimentality. Number 5. The Fighter, 7.8 out of 10 IMDb. Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale starred in The Fighter, based on the true story of Mickey Ward, Wahlberg, and Dickie Eklund, two brothers in the world of late 1980s professional boxing. Christian Bale won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his role as Elklund, who was once a promising star of the sport. Having gone the distance, surviving 10 rounds with Sugar Ray Leonard, he ultimately finds himself in the midst of an addiction to crack. When the film begins, he is training his brother Mickey, though family drama and financial troubles, not to mention the judgment-impairing qualities of crack cocaine, cause immense strain in the brothers' relationship. The fighter was Wahlberg's passion project for the better part of 5 years, and the actor got into stunning shape for the role, going so far as to refuse a stunt double and opt to perform his fights himself. Such was his desire for unrivaled authenticity. Number 4. Cinderella Man, 8 out of 10 IMDb. In 2005, Ron Howard directed Russell Crowe in Cinderella Man, based on the true story of Irish boxer James Braddock. While boxing historians took umbrage with the overly villainous portrayal of heavyweight champion Max Baer, there's no denying the palpable emotion in the story of Braddock, a man who represented the poverty-stricken working class of America during the Great Depression. Despite reuniting director Howard with his A Beautiful Mind star Crowe and tackling an exciting and inspirational story, Cinderella Man, even with glowing reviews, failed to make its mark on the box office. Unlike A Beautiful Mind, which managed to make over $300 million worldwide from a moderate budget of $58 million, Cinderella Man could only muster up a global total of just $108 million, while working on a considerably larger budget of $88 million. Number 3. Million Dollar Baby, 8.1 out of 10 IMDb. Clint Eastwood was at the top of his game when he directed and co-starred in Million Dollar Baby, a film which won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Hilary Swank won the Oscar for Best Actress for her role as Maggie, an amateur fighter who finds herself under the wing of Eastwood, a firm but fair mentor. Every boxing movie is about how people fight to live the way they want to live, whether it be earning financial independence or conquering inner demons. Without spoiling the film's shocking twist ending, Million Dollar Baby is about how not every fight can be won, and the ways in which loss can be handled with grace and dignity. It's about friendship and loyalty, and the lengths to which people are willing to go to honor the wishes of their loved ones. Number 2. Rocky, 8.1 out of 10 IMDb. Rocky Balboa is a character defined by his combination of talent and humility. He's a simple, kind-hearted man, ineffective in his gig as a muscle for a low-rent mob boss. The world has him on the ropes when, practically out of nowhere, the opportunity of a lifetime falls into his lap. Fight Apollo Creed, the heavyweight champion of the world, for a shot at the title. For the first time, this perpetual loser has a chance to prove that he's not as worthless as everyone thinks. After letting his whole life pass him by, Rocky vows to himself that he'll fight 12 rounds against Apollo Creed. He may not win, but he promises that he will go the distance. After Rocky's tremendous success, numerous sequels followed, all with varying degrees of critical and commercial success. 1990's Rocky V basically killed the franchise, but great fighters always have a chance to turn things around. Against all odds, 2006 Rocky Balboa brought the character back from an unexpectedly triumphant return, and won universal praise for writer-director star Sylvester Stallone. He may have big muscles and an easily mocked Brooklyn accent, but Stallone is a seriously gifted actor, and nowhere is that more obvious than in back-to-back viewings of Rocky and its 30 years later conclusion. Before showing you the greatest boxing movie of all time, here are some honorable mentions of some boxing movies that left a mark on society. Number 1. Raging Bull, 8.2 out of 10 IMDb. Source says he isn't actually a fan of boxing or sports in general. This borderline contempt for the pugilistic pastime is evident in his visceral depiction of the film's numerous fights, which have a barbaric edge, and is simply unmatched in its genre. LaMotta's signature fighting style was aggressive to say the least. the man was willing to get in his opponent's face and take numerous blows to his head because he knew that he could return the pain in an even greater measure. Of course, the real impact of the film comes from its depiction of LaMotta's personal life, in which he self-sabotaged his career, his marriage, and his relationship with his brother. Best of all, the unrelenting drama is delivered through the use of timelessly raw black and white photography. For all of its grotesque bloodletting, bombastic trash talk and overt egotism, boxing is an intimate sport about dignity and self-respect. In 2015's Creed, Sylvester Stallone's Rocky tells his young apprentice that boxing isn't about fighting an opponent. It's about entering the ring as one man and leaving as a different and better man. Do you guys agree with these great boxing movies? What's your favorite boxing movie? What other sport do you like? Please shout it down in the comments and let us know why. And also, if you want to give your family a surprise gift for any special occasion, you can always check out our website and look for creative and adorable gifts. This has been Music Chess, your music box champ, signing out.